You're a tsundere heiress playing a dating game with your arch-nemesis, yet the tears he sheds when he's drunk itch at your heart. And even his clumsy poor me act makes your pulse race. So much that you sneak him back to your apartment at midnight and record something mortifying, only to discover it was all a trap he set with painstaking care, by which time I was already hopelessly tangled in the web he'd woven. I told my nemesis we were done. He turned with a frosty look. Break up? Fine. Like I care. That night, a bartender called me. Ma'am, this gentleman has been crying non-stop. Could you come pick him up? I started dating my mortal enemy Jason because of a high-stakes dare. 2 nights earlier, at a friend's hangout, the youngest girl in our circle had just turned 18 and insisted we play something thrilling. She wanted the rush. I ended up paying for it. Adult mode, truth or dare. I drew, date any one of the men present for 1 month. With the roof about to blow off from all the whooping, I scanned the guys. Not gonna lie, they were all pretty handsome. I shrugged. Whatever. I'll do it. I was about to pick when Miss Thrill herself chimed in. If we're doing this, we're going all the way. I gave her a look. And what exactly do you mean? Blind draw, she said. The plan was simple. Every single man would pluck 1 eyelash. I'd date whoever's lash I picked. I actually thought it sounded fun watching them duck behind a screen one by one to yank a lash. Until Jason stood up too. I frowned. Why him? He's single. Jason glanced back and gave me a thin smile. Voice icy. Pick me, and you're dead. A chill ran through me. I told myself, don't pick him. You won't pick him. We've never gotten along. Dating him would be pure self-inflicted misery. The lashes were soon collected. Miss Thrill came over like some fussy little palace attendant, offering me a tray. I leaned in. 7 lashes, long, short, thick, thin. I pointed at one. Why is this one wet? Don't tell me somebody cried. Hurry up and choose, she urged. You really can't tell a lash's owner at a glance. I went with the damp one and announced my logic. A man's tears are my adrenaline. She checked the number above it. Who's number 4? Silence. She asked again. And again. Jason crushed a paper scrap and tossed it in the trash with a muttered curse. Now everyone got it. I looked at Jason in silence. He looked back, speechless. The corners of his eyes were still a little pink from the plucked lash, shimmering under the light. Funny, his tears didn't do it for me at all. And just like that, Jason and I started our 1-month relationship. A few days in, I was already at my limit. Mostly because Jason is insufferable. The game rule said, no matter how we act in private, the moment any witness from that night is present, we must switch back into couple mode. In other words, no witness, no couple. I decided I'd avoid that gang for the entire month. Turns out I could. Jason wouldn't. On day 2, he texted me as my boyfriend. Jason. Belle? Did you have breakfast? Me. Stunned. You take the wrong meds? Jason replied, calm as ever. Tony's right here. Tony was one of the witnesses that night. I quickly unsent my last message and typed properly. Not yet. You? Jason. Come downstairs. Let's go together. After a baffling breakfast, he invited me to the library. With Tony hovering, I didn't dare cuss him out. I tried to dodge. Can't. I'm going shopping with my roommate. Tony egged it on. Who shops without their boyfriend? Jason can carry the bags and pay. Isn't that the dream? I looked to Jason for backup. He dutifully took out his wallet. Put it on me. I suspected he'd scrambled his brain. I pretended to agree to a shopping date, then, once Tony left, dragged Jason into a quiet grove. What is wrong with you? Weren't we avoiding them this month? Jason looked innocent. Tony lives next door to me. How am I supposed to avoid him? Figure something out, I said. We can't actually date. He held my gaze. If you're this unwilling, why'd you agree to the game? I didn't know it'd be you, I shot back. His face darkened. So you'd happily date someone else? I kept quiet. He huffed. Too late. You're dating me now. Prepare for your doom. Then came Jason's all-out assault. He stuck to Tony like glue, which meant I had to act like his girlfriend around the clock. If I was the least bit cool to him, he'd whine in the group chat. My girlfriend's so distant today. That one line summoned the jackals. What's up? You two just started. Aren't you in the honeymoon phase? Belle. You backing out? Belle. You're breaking the rules, I protested. Even couples get mad. I'm allowed to be annoyed, right? Fine. Jason, go make it right. Jason, your girl's mad, fix it. So he was shoved onto the stage and, in front of everyone, sent a voice note to coax me. Baby, don't be mad, okay? No exaggeration, I broke out in full-body goosebumps. The group lost it too, teasing and hooting nonstop. I logged off in a hurry. I opened my laptop, closed my tablet, kept myself busy. None of it erased the damage from that one baby. All night. I even dreamed of Jason calling me baby. Next day, with raccoon eye circles, I asked Jason out. Let's break up, I said. It hasn't been a month. He hesitated. I'll tell them, I said firmly. I'm done with this. It's terrifying. He looked at me for a long beat, then turned away with a scoff. Break up? Fine. Like I care. I exhaled. Whatever his attitude, at least it was over. Single again. Light as air. I went back to the dorm and crashed, hugging my comforter. I woke to my phone ringing. Half asleep, I answered. A cautious voice asked, Hello, are you Mr. Jason's girlfriend? I am... Wait, no, I'm not. Even I had to laugh, so which was it? The caller stayed very polite. This gentleman has been crying the whole time. Could you come pick him up? My bleary eyes snapped open. Huh? And I don't blame myself for being shocked. Jason is the last person you'd associate with, crying. He may look refined and handsome, but he's not some soft, weepy, pretty boy. Among our crowd, he was the first to grow up. While other guys our age were still partying, he was already helping his family with the company books. He even closed a major deal right before college entrance exams. With that kind of pressure tolerance, you're telling me he cried? And kept crying? Skeptical. I headed to the bar. The manager must have been at his wit's end. They even posted someone at the door to greet me. He led me all the way into the lounge. Jason sat in a corner, surrounded by several circles of people. I pushed through the crowd and froze. Jason was still wearing the same white shirt from our breakup earlier that day, clutching a bottle, eyes swollen red from crying. He wasn't wailing or sobbing, just sitting quietly in the corner, lips pressed tight, looking like a child too proud to admit he was hurt. Silent tears kept falling. Every small sniffle tugged at your heart. Then I understood why everyone had gathered around him, because he looked heartbreakingly beautiful crying. There was a fragile, exquisite sadness about him that made something stir inside me. I forced down the shameful thought and stepped closer. Jason, it's me. What's wrong? He looked up, glanced at me through lashes wet with tears, his eyes hazy with drink. That look made my heart pound. I quickly looked away and asked the manager, how much did he drink? Just one bottle, he groaned. If we'd known he couldn't hold it, we'd never have served him. I crouched beside Jason. Do you still recognize me? He ignored me, tears still slipping down. I sighed and sat next to him. What happened? You're not the type to cry. Jason didn't answer, but the manager did. He doesn't want to break up. His tone was almost pleading. Please, don't break up with him. Look at him. Just comfort him, the onlookers echoed. Yeah, don't make him sad. I doubted that was the real reason, but played along. If you don't want to break up, then we won't. Jason still didn't react, so the crowd got restless, eagerly offering advice on how to cheer up a crying boyfriend. I was mortified. Let me take you home, okay? I asked. This time he responded with a soft, so obedient it made my heart flutter. As the bar owner helped us into a cab, all I could think was, what's wrong with me? Being turned on by a crying Jason. Am I sick? It was well past dorm curfew, so I had no choice but to take him to my downtown apartment. Luckily, after a nap in the car, he'd stopped crying. When he woke, he looked dazed but sweetly docile. If I told him to drink water, he did. To wipe his face, he did. Even when I told him to go to bed, he obeyed without a word. He was too obedient it made my fingers itch. A wicked thought hit me. I aimed my phone at him. Started recording. Jason, repeat after me. He looked up from under my floral quilt, eyes soft and dazed. I said, Jason is an idiot. He repeated, Jason is an idiot. I giggled. Jason is a crybaby. He echoed, Jason is a crybaby. Then curiosity got the better of me. I wanted to see if he was really conscious. Jason likes Isabel. He paused, then said, Jason likes Isabel. Guess he really was drunk, I thought. After all, Jason had told me flat out he hated me. Suddenly, it didn't feel funny anymore. I sighed, put my phone away. Go to sleep. I turned off the light. When I woke the next morning, Jason had breakfast ready. He was still in the same white shirt and black pants from yesterday. The shirt wrinkled, a button missing from his cuff. Hair tousled, but his face gave him the charm of a disheveled aristocrat. Setting warm milk on the table, he said. Thanks for letting me crash here last night. So he was sober now. I sat down, took a bite of sandwich, and asked, Why were you crying last night? His voice was cool. I don't want to talk about it. Because of the breakup. He looked up. We weren't really together. Why would I be sad? My focus shifted. So if we were really together, you'd be sad? Jason froze. He finished his last bite slowly, then counted. Would we ever really be together? No. We both knew the answer. He hated me. And I didn't exactly like him either. I bit down hard on my sandwich, stuffing my mouth just to swallow my irritation. What was he so proud about? I said on purpose. You said you liked me last night. Jason choked, face turning red as he spluttered. Impossible. I had proof. I showed him the video I recorded. After watching it, he said coolly, You forced me. I didn't. You did. He lifted his chin. The video proves it. I huffed. Then why didn't you say you liked Tony when I told you to? You didn't, sir. He stopped short. I blinked, suspicious. Were you really drunk last night? Yeah, Jason said. Then why? No one says being drunk means blacking out. He might have been deflecting or not. I remember exactly what you did to me. I blurted. I didn't do anything. Oh, he said lightly. You keep saying you hate me, yet you couldn't keep your hands off me while I was drunk. And that's nothing? He suddenly leaned in close. Don't tell me you've been secretly in love with me. No way! I shouted, too loudly, as if volume could make denial sound more convincing. The smile froze on his lips. In the tense silence, our phones lit up at once. It was a message from our friend group. At everyone, free up this weekend. My brother's friend just opened a resort in Kishan. We're going for 2 days. Ooh, I'm hitting the hot springs. They say it's a lover's paradise. Bet it's full of couples. Who cares? We've got our own couple. At Jason, at Isabel. Say something, lovebirds. Jason frowned. You didn't tell them we broke up. Didn't have time. So, are you going to tell them now? He asked. I looked at him. Do you want me to? No. Before I could unpack that, no. Jason added. I just don't want them saying I can't take a loss. Fair enough. The only reason I'd agreed to that stupid game in the first place was the unspoken rule of pride. Then, let's not break up for now, I suggested. Whatever, Jason said, indifferent as ever, as if dating or not meant nothing to him. I ground my teeth. Maybe because he annoyed me so much in the day. That night I dreamed of him again, him from sophomore year. He walked into my classroom, perched on my desk, chatting with the guys who'd confessed to me. What's so great about Isabel? She's spoiled, loud, and temperamental. Total princess. You guys can handle that. Back then, hearing that made me storm off. I couldn't stand him insulting me. But Dreamy stayed and heard the rest. His voice turned earnest. I can handle it. So please, do me a favor and let me have her. I jolted awake, stunned. I actually dreamed about Jason liking me. I had to imagine him liking me now, still reeling. I got a message from him. Girlfriend. Wanna grab lunch later? I typed, Tony's with you again? Yup, he replied. Otherwise, why would I call you that? Furious. I tossed my phone aside. Anger, frustration, spite all at once. Fine. Jason hates me, right? Then I'll make him fall for me. When he does, I'll dump him so hard he won't know what hit him. Let's see how composed he is then. The weekend came. Sunny and bright. Our group headed to the resort in Chishan. Tony, tall enough to see over everyone, looked around. Where's Julia? Julia was the one who'd started this whole thrill game. Someone said, she's getting the room keys. Soon she returned, handing them out. When she reached Jason and me, only one keycard was left. Tony frowned. You're one short? That's all the front desk gave me, Julia said, setting it between us. Why don't the lovebirds share? Jason instantly scooted away. I'll get another one. Come on, just share. I called after him. Boyfriend, don't tell me you're scared. The crowd erupted in teasing. You two for real? No way, Belle. Didn't you used to hate Jason's guts? When did that change? We didn't sign up for that kind of couple game. Keep it PG, guys. No baby bumps when we check out. Jason turned back amid the laughter. I met his eyes proudly. He exhaled. You seriously want to room with me? Of course, I said. He finally gave in, dragging both our suitcases like a reluctant bride. I led the way. Whenever I looked back, he was wearing a face full of doom. I couldn't help but laugh. This was just the beginning. Once inside the room, Jason radiated discomfort head to toe. Maybe it was the teasing still hanging in the air, or the big bed that suggested too much. Either way, Jason was red as a boiled shrimp. What's wrong? I asked. He waved his hand. Just hot, I teased. Then take your shirt off. He froze mid-fan. Suddenly not hot anymore. I bit back a laugh, took my suitcase from him, and crouched to unpack. Jason paced around the room, his restless footsteps betraying his nerves. Suddenly he stopped in front of me. Why'd you insist on us sharing a room? I blinked innocently. We're a couple, right? Sharing a room is normal. He hesitated. But I threw his own words back at him. What? You're not man enough? Who says I'm not? He shot back. After Jason said that, he seemed to calm down and started unpacking his suitcase. A breeze lifted the white curtain by the window, and I caught sight of a private hot spring pool outside. Hey, there's one right in our room, I said with surprise. Wanna soak together tonight? With a loud thud, Jason's suitcase toppled over. He didn't even bother to pick it up, just bolted out the door without a word. I frowned. That reaction was a bit much, wasn't it? At this rate, getting him to fall for me was only a matter of time. I hummed a cheerful tune to myself. The girls in our group were already calling me to join them at the hot springs. I looked over the 2 swimsuits I'd brought. One was a black strappy number. Minimal coverage, all sexy vibes. I'd packed it just to tease Jason, but since he wasn't around, I slipped into the pale yellow one-piece instead. Of course, right after I changed, Jason came back. He stared at me for 3 seconds, then spun around, tilting his head back and covering his nose. His reaction made me glance down at myself. Everything was covered. Arms, legs, all decent. What was his problem? If I'd known he was coming, I'd have worn the sexy one and finished him off in one blow. Jason's muffled voice came. Sorry, I didn't know you were changing. I'm already dressed, I snapped. He still didn't turn around. Julia and the others couldn't reach you, he said. They asked me to get you. They're going to the hot springs. Oh, I'll head over. Jason grabbed a bathrobe from the closet and tossed it at me. Wear this. Holding the sash in my hand, I sauntered over to him. Why won't you look at me? Nothing to see, he said stiffly. I teased. Then why's your nose bleeding? Jason's hand shot to his face, but it came away clean. I patted his shoulder, laughing. Gotcha. He stared at me, dumbfounded, as I walked out. By the time I reached the hot spring, Julia and the others were already soaking. Belle! Get in here! Someone called. I slipped off the robe, stepped into the water, and was immediately greeted with gasps and cheers. Damn, you're so fair-skinned! How do you even get that figure? Tiny waist, perfect hips. I'm dying of jealousy. Belle's going full angelic seductress today. How does that pale yellow look so tempting on you? Has Jason seen this? Has he? No way he has, or he'd never let her out like that. Leaning against the stone edge, I blinked. What's Jason got to do with this? Everything! You two are a couple now, someone said, playfully. I rolled my eyes. After a bit more gossip, one friend suggested selfies. My robe was closest, so I grabbed my phone for them. They giggled and snapped away, then started picking which photos to post. I was relaxing when a familiar voice drifted from one of their phones. Jason. Repeat after me. Jason is an idiot. Jason is an idiot. A chorus of shocked, "Holy crap!" followed. I lunged for my phone, but the more I panicked, the slower I moved. I could only watch them finish the whole video. The girl who opened it first looked mortified. Sorry, Belle. I thought there were more pictures. It's fine. I finally got my phone back and quickly locked the screen, my heart still pounding. The gossip squad swarmed me. What's with that video? Was that really Jason? The Jason, all cold and untouchable? Damn, he's so hot like that. Was he crying? Why does he look even better after crying? Don't tell me you two are actually together. I stuck to the essentials. Not yet. The video was from when he got drunk, I said, unable to explain why I'd recorded it. So I blurted, I just wanted leverage in case he pissed me off again. My friend fixated on the wrong thing. Was he really drunk, though? Didn't look it. Total act. He was seducing you. I thought the redness was from crying, but maybe it's fake tear makeup. Wow. Jason's good. No. He really cried, I insisted. As if. That guy's too proud to cry. He knew you liked emotional guys and did it on purpose. Yeah, no way he cried for real. I couldn't help laughing. It's just a game. Jason wouldn't try to seduce me. The irony was, I was the one seducing him. They finally dropped it. On the way back to our rooms, Julia suddenly tugged me aside. She began hesitantly. Jason might actually be trying to seduce you. Huh? She whispered. During the eyelash thing, I saw him wait until his eyes were wet before plucking his lash. Like he knew you'd pick the wet one. My mind exploded. My fondness for men who cry wasn't exactly a secret. In novels or dramas, whenever the male lead shed tears for love, my heart would clench and tingle all at once. That bittersweet rush always did something to me. I'd even posted about it everywhere. On Moments, on Weibo, anywhere I could. A man's tears are my aphrodisiac. Maybe that's how Jason found out. But to think he actually cried to seduce me, that seemed impossible. He hated me, or so I thought. Still, I decided to test him. I waited in our room, turning over ideas while watching the clock tick. But even by 11, Jason hadn't come back. Finally, I texted, "Where are you?" He didn't reply, but he came back. I was lying in bed. He couldn't seem to meet my eyes, gaze flicking away. "Tony asked me to pull an all-nighter gaming with him," he said, grabbing one of the hotel pillows. I pressed it down. "He doesn't have extra pillows?" He does." Jason dropped it like it burned. He glanced at me again. "Just came to let you know I won't be sleeping here tonight." Obvious excuse. As he turned to leave, I said, "But I don't feel well." He froze. "Jason, I don't feel good." He came back, standing by my bed, eyes searching my face. "What's wrong?" "I don't know. Just don't feel right." I pulled the blanket up, my voice coming out softer than I meant. Jason hesitated, then said, "Let me check your forehead." I let him. "No fever," he said after a moment. "Did you eat something bad?" "Ate with Julia and the others," I mumbled. "Should be fine." "Maybe I should call a doctor," he said, frowning. I grabbed his hand, stopping him. "No need. Just stay here with me." His wrist suddenly burned under my fingers. He opened his mouth, but said nothing, then dragged a small stool over to sit beside me. "Okay. Sleep. I'll stay right here." I turned toward him. He kept his head down, ears bright red. For a moment, I almost believed he really did like me. "Did you shower yet?" I asked. "Yeah." "In Tony's room?" "Yeah." "Why not here?" He stiffened. "What's the difference? You don't like my bathroom or something?" "Of course not." "Then why are you avoiding me?" I pushed, pouting. "You won't even sleep in the same room. You'd rather game with Tony all night." "That's not it," Jason muttered. "Then do you like me?" "Lee like." He jerked his head up. "Why are we even talking about this?" I turned away dramatically. "There's no game, is there? You just don't want to be with me." My voice dropped to a whisper. "It's fine. I know you hate me. You can't even stand to be in the same room. Go to Tony." "I'm fine, really." "Go." "No," Jason said after a pause. "I don't hate you, but you act like you do." Silence filled the room. "I'm just afraid I won't be able to control myself," he said quietly. "After the way you treat me, I can't hold back." "Hold back what?" I asked. Jason leaned in suddenly, one hand braced by my head, the other lifting my chin before pressing his lips to mine. His breath mingled with mine, his heartbeat loud against my ear. When he finally pulled back, his voice was low and rough. "Holding back from kissing you, even though everything was clear now." I still asked, "Why did you kiss me?" Jason looked straight at me. "Isabel, I like you." I blinked, not expecting him to confess now. "So my seduction worked, huh?" Jason froze, then laughed softly. "So you really were trying to seduce me?" I arched a brow. He brushed a few stray strands of hair behind my ear. "But I like you not because you tried to seduce me." He couldn't resist and kissed me again. "Even if you hadn't, I'd still like you." I pushed him lightly. Explain first. Don't turn into a creep. Jason chuckled, settling back onto the stool. He looked at me with those open, smiling eyes, and I suddenly felt shy. I broke the silence first. When did you start liking me? Jason was completely honest. Sophomore year. I gaped. No way. Why not? You hated me back then. He frowned. I told him what I'd overheard years ago. I didn't hate you. I liked you. Back then, I wanted to confess, Jason said. But I was scared you'd reject me, so I tried to chase away the competition first. He added. You probably didn't hear the rest of what I said that day. I told them I'd win you, and if any of them thought they could beat me, they were welcome to try. No wonder all those guys suddenly backed off. Then why didn't you confess? I asked. Jason's voice dropped, tinged with hurt. Because you started treating me coldly out of nowhere. I thought you'd found out and was showing how much you hated me. Suddenly, everything clicked. I'd been butting heads with Jason because I thought he hated me, while he held back because he thought I hated him for liking me. It was all a giant misunderstanding. He'd liked me all along. I couldn't help asking. That night you cried. Why? Because I was heartbroken. I didn't want to break up, he said. We weren't even really together. Just a game, and I only got to date you for a few days. That's pretty pathetic, isn't it? I wasn't convinced. I suspected he'd faked it, crying just to make me feel sorry for him. And that eyelash from the game night, did you wet it on purpose? No, Jason said. I just plucked too hard. It made my eyes tear up. That story was the exact opposite of what Julia told me. I was almost certain he was lying. He'd done it deliberately. Played right into my weakness. Thinking back on how heartbreakingly handsome he'd looked crying, I couldn't help admitting he had skills. He'd cried so beautifully I'd practically turned into a beast. Then Jason suddenly asked, If you've been trying to seduce me these days, does that mean you like me a little too? I feigned ignorance. No. Huh? He looked startled. I just wanted to make you fall for me, so I could dump you hard afterward, I said deliberately. But since you already like me, I don't have to try anymore. Jason looked wounded. Why are you planning to dump me before we're even together? Because you keep lying. He blinked, seemed to realize something, and after a couple of seconds his eyes reddened. Belle, all I did was try to seduce you. How is that wrong? My jaw dropped. Was he really crying again? Can we be together? He whispered, tears slipping silently down his face. Dee, don't look at me like that, I stammered. Why not? He asked, still crying. You know I like you, but you won't even let me look at you. You're cruel. No, you're the cruel one. Looking at me like that is dangerous. Jason pressed his cheek into my palm, nuzzling softly. Baby, be with me, okay? I could feel the warmth of his skin, the wetness of his tears. Maybe I did like him after all. Why else would my heart race all night when he first called me baby? Breaking up with him wasn't hate, it was fear. Fear of the game getting too real to stop. My mind flashed back to sophomore year, when I fought him for belittling me. Was it really him I hated, or the fact that he didn't like me? After turning it over again and again, I finally said, Okay, I'll be with you. Jason lifted his head. I leaned in and hugged him, whispering in his ear, I like you too. Jason. Turning fake love into real love came with one big problem: how to end the game. There were still 18 days left in the month, which meant if Jason and I kept acting all lovey-dovey, our friends would find out. The best solution was to go public. Jason agreed and even insisted he'd handle everything, but something about it still felt strange. Enemies one day, lovebirds the next. How could it not feel strange? So I decided to stall. If I could delay it, I would. We started our secret relationship in stealth mode. But keeping it secret was easier said than done. On the third day of our official relationship, a viral post appeared on the campus forum. Shocking. The finance department's heartthrob has a girlfriend. The attached photo showed a tall guy pinning a petite girl against a tree in Changfeng Grove, kissing her passionately. Whoa! Jason's that affectionate with his girlfriend? I thought he'd be the next Tony, cold and untouchable. How long's the semester been? You tell me how long. Who's the girl? Anyone found out yet? Can't tell. Their faces are covered, but that height difference? Perfect ship material. You can tell from her hair she's gorgeous. Look at that body, wow. The post blew up instantly and was shared to our group chat. At Jason, explain yourself. You guys really can't tell that's Isabel? No way! How'd you know? So what's going on between them? At Jason at Isabel care to explain. Are you two actually together? Our game rules didn't say you could make out in public. At that moment, Jason was wiping my mouth with a tissue. I glared. Don't you dare cry again. That trick doesn't work anymore. Okay, he said gently, then grabbed his buzzing phone. Before I could say anything, he leaned in for another kiss. I rolled my eyes. This man was addicted to kissing. We're exposed, he said, glancing at his screen. What? I grabbed my own phone and there it was. The photo from Changfeng Grove. I kicked him off the couch. All your fault for insisting on kissing me that day. Jason landed on the floor, then sat up and asked, Baby, can we just make it official? It wasn't like we had a choice. I flopped back on the sofa. Whatever, Jason typed carefully, then announced in the group chat. Thanks, everyone. Belle and I are officially together. Finally. Took you two long enough after all our matchmaking. You've always liked each other, just admit it already. Now go be cute and spare us the stress. Congrats! 99 years of love. 99! Still dazed, I stared at my phone. What's happening? Jason crawled back over, sitting beside me. Looks like everyone already knew we liked each other, he said. I thought back to all those childish fights I'd picked with him. Great. I can never show my face again. I buried my face in his chest. Jason stroked my hair with a sigh. You're so damn cute. Now I want to kiss you again. I jerked away from his chest, putting distance between us. Suddenly, I can face people again. Bye. He laughed, caught my hand, and pulled me back into his arms, silencing everything I was about to say with a kiss. Half dazed, I thought, guess my lips are going to be too swollen to show tomorrow.